Yo guys, what is going on? Insanity coming back at you, and we finally got our first glimpse of what's to come in update 1.8. We got a full exploration of the entire northwest section that's being added over at the West Side Piers and Clinton, which is absolutely pretty freaking amazing. So all we can say right now is we know where the location is, we know that there's a new dynamic spawn system, and we know that this is coming in the fall. We didn't get into the new Resistance gameplay mode or Skirmish, but they did have the guys over from Redstorm over in the stream as well. Yannick was playing the game along with Tony, and this was just going all over the place to try and give everybody a full preview of what's to come in this new different little space. But more importantly, just to try and touch on everything that went through the entire state of the game as you take a look at this. This is the brand new Clinton terminal-like social space where you could do things like join last stand, do your recalibrations, buy things, go to vendors, and stuff like that over in the West Side Piers. But let's just go ahead and start this thing out. The RPM glitch that's been plaguing the division as of right now, they do have a fix. It's not going to be deployed just yet because it's going to require a client fix. The mass grant is going to be happening very, very soon. It should be either by the end of this week or early into next week. That's what they're shooting for right now. This weekend, they're going to be dropping an extra enemy drop for bosses. So if you're going around clearing light zone and DZ bosses, they are going to drop an additional item. And everyone's like, yay, we can't wait to try and get those additional classified pieces. I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to be dropping from the additional loot. So for all of you out there that have been thinking, all right, I'm going to get the possibility of 2 classified pieces from one boss, that's not going to be something that's going to happen. Here you're taking a look at a brand new portion of the map. This is West Side Piers. Right here, you're seeing where they're going to be headed. They're going to be heading on over to an assignment in West Side. It's an alert, and they have this brand new thing, and you're going to see it happen in just a few seconds, where whenever you're traversing the entire land and you're exploring everything, they have a brand new spawn system. Usually stuff pops up in the game world when you're walking and you're past certain lines and you hit things. You can see the huge Intrepid in the background there, the big aircraft carrier. It's huge, it looks ginormous, it looks awesome. And compared to whenever people were glitching into this part of the map when the game first launched, it looks so much better now than it did back then. It was definitely a placeholder item, and this was an area that they wanted to include into the game, and since the resources were already there, they were like, you know what, let's go ahead and add this in and make sure that we can give players much more of a better experience than what they're used to, and something that's a little bit more dynamic, and that's exactly what this place is going to bring you. This is going to be the PVE zone that everyone has been hoping for, that doesn't have you jumping from mission to mission. It's you run around, you kill things, you get loot, you get caches, and you keep exploring. You do not stop. It's really interesting and unique, and let's just jump into it. First thing I want to go ahead and talk about is Resistance. What is Resistance? Resistance is the Division's take on games like Gears of War's Horde mode, anything that's more wave-based. Is there an option to play it in solo? You most certainly can. It's going to challenge the casual player that wants something that's going to be really fun and really fast-paced, where you can try and just play something and get something out of it. That's fine. But it's also going to test those hardcore players and group players to try and make sure that you have a longevity, replayable experience that you're just going to love and enjoy. Skirmish is going to be that PvP mode that everyone was hoping for. Yes, we got Last Stand, and that was really just a placeholder. They wanted something to try and see how well PvP was going to work outside the Dark Zone, and how just having a 4v4 game mode was going to play in the Division, and we're finally getting that. It's going to be full-on TDM style gameplay in really short size custom maps where it's all about the action, it's all about shooting, and it's all about killing. The main thing that you do need to remember when it comes to actually getting a point for your team, it's not about downing people. You need to finish them off, you need to kill them in order for them to be considered dead. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about is the narrative. Everybody's been hoping that 1.8 was going to bring more narrative type elements to the game, or we're going to get more story missions, or we're going to get more of that kind of stuff. And why are all of these factions joining up together in the Division to try and take on the Shade? Why are they taking on the Division? Why are they all teaming up? Why is it that LMB are working with Cleaners, and why are the Rikers trying to work with the Rioters? I mean, why is all this happening? And we get to figure that out. You're taking a look at some of the new indoor exploration you have right here. They're going through a car wash currently, where everything's a little bit more vertical. It looks like the indoor play spaces are just as good as they were in DZ North, and it was really nice to see that they decided to take that concept of exploration from DZ North and stick it into the light zone, because this is going to make you feel like you're in the DZ without actual players attacking you. So those who have been looking for a more PvE style dark zone, this is going to be your #1 new place besides doing your daily missions and stuff like that, because this is going to have bosses. I'm sure there might be named enemies. Who really knows? I mean, this is still really up in the air, and it's still really early in development. We won't be seeing this for quite some time. They're expecting a PTS to launch sometime in September. They don't know when. They don't know if it's going to be late, if it's going to be mid. All we know is it's coming in September. They haven't shown off any gameplay of Skirmish or Resistance. They just wanted to take us on a full tour of what the entire area looks like and where things are. Can you access the Intrepid? You most certainly can, but it's mostly in the Skirmish or Resistance game modes. Same with the Piers as well. If you walk on over to the Pier, they do that later in this gameplay demo. It says specifically on there Resistance Piers, and you could go ahead and launch into a full-on gameplay mission of trying to take on other people or doing whatever. So this right here reminds everyone of that Rave Underground start mission, and that's why they went ahead and did this little section. They put a club in West Side Piers, and it looks absolutely amazing. They were really focusing on the floor here. If you take a look, the floor is an aquarium. It's pretty freaking cool looking. All these animations running at once, not to mention you are going to have enemies in here at some point. There's going to be a bunch of different things, whether it be trying to defend a certain shade tech element. There's going to be attack and defend, trying to get into certain things. There's going to be a huge amount of alerts popping up all the time to make sure you're taking on West Side Pier's assignments to keep you busy all the time. The other thing that I really wanted to go ahead and touch on with you guys is Division Tech. Now, everyone knows that you're not really going to be getting Division Tech unless you're over in the DZ, and it's kind of a forgotten currency, right? I mean, no one really uses it anymore. A lot of people don't really do a whole lot of crafting unless you're doing something for a weekly assignment, and that is something that really needs to be touched on, and that's exactly what the guys over at Redstorm are doing now. They are deciding to take Division Tech and they're sticking it in the light zone. We know for a fact that it's in the West Side Piers location. We don't know if they're adding DZ Tech boxes all over the light zone or not. I kind of hope they will. That way, whatever they're trying to do is going to affect the entire LZ so that everyone has an opportunity to earn it and they don't just have to go to West Side Piers to get it. With that being said, what is it going to be used for? The only thing that they're saying right now is it's going to give you an opportunity to tweak your gear even further than what you can already do with a recalibration station. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know what it's going to alter. We don't know anything. That's all they decided to go ahead and tease us for a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming in 1.8, and they haven't said everything just yet. So with that being said, there's only one more thing left on the list that I really wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about, and that would be new weapons and gear. The only thing that was teased during this entire preview for this entire new exploration section of the game is we are indeed getting new exotics. They didn't say if we were getting new exotic weapons, new exotic gear, new exotic weapon mods, new exotic clothing. I mean, who knows? I would really like to see exotic mods, exotic clothing, to actually have them do a little bit extra for you all around, and I would think it would make it just a much better gameplay experience. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this quick little preview of what's to come in the West Side Piers expansion for the Division. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I can't wait to actually see the 4v4 game mode. I can't wait to see the Horde mode in action so that we can all try and see how things really work out. And yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that they're opening up an extra section of the map for everyone to enjoy. And don't forget, guys, this is 100% free. This is free of charge, no season pass required, none of that. All of year 2 content is being wrapped up with 1.8. Are we going to get 1.9 and beyond? Who really knows? We'll have to see where this narrative goes, and that's one of the biggest things. If you're a collectibles guy, you're going to love it. There's going to be a ton of audio logs for you to go through to try and figure out what's going on with all these factions, where they're headed, why they're all joining up together to take on the Division, and where things are headed from there. Anyways, guys, 1.8 is totally in full hype mode. Jump on that hype train, like if you haven't, sub if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.